Okay, we're on our last question. G of x is minus 2x squared plus 8, our last page, and then we're going to look at a word problem. Okay, so I'm using pencil so I can erase. If I use marker, it'll be darker, but the pencil should work. So we got g of x is negative 2x squared plus minus 8x. Find the x-intercept. So again, we go minus 2x squared minus 8x equals 0. I'm going to divide everything. We can divide everything by negative 2, I guess. Sure, why not? So we get x squared plus 4 equals, plus 4x equals 0. And we can take an x out. So we get x plus 4 equals 0. So look, we got one x here. So look, when it's like this, x, and then I get x plus 4. So in this case, x can equal 0. So here, x can equal 0, or x plus 4 can equal 0. So x can equal negative 4. So we got two answers there. So it's either equal to 0 right here, or x is negative 4 right there. So there's our two x-intercepts. So we found our two x-intercepts. So one's right here, and the other is right here. You see, at 0 and negative 2, negative 4, because you have to bring it to the other side, and when you do that, it's negative 4. Axis of symmetry, it's going to be negative 2. I can see halfway between the two dots, but let's just average them. So average means you add them. 0 plus negative 4 all over 2. So that's like negative 4 over 2. So here x equals negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So there's our axis of symmetry. So right here, we can draw our axis of symmetry up and down. Okay, we can draw it right there, up and down, halfway between. Now the y component, we know that's the thing. We're going to plug it back to the initial equation. So we're going to go g of x equaling negative 2 x squared minus 8x minus 2 times negative 2 squared minus 8 times negative 2. Let's see what that gives us. Might be off the graph, I don't know. Clear. Let's take a look. So negative 2 and bracket negative 2 squared minus 8 times negative 2. Let's see what that gives us. 8. 8. So our vertex is negative 2, comma 8. So negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put a dot at 8. Now our step pattern, A. Well, A, right up here in front of the x squared, A is negative 2. So instead of using 1, 3, and 5, we're going to multiply by negative 2. I'm going to multiply these values by negative 2, and you get negative 2, negative 6, negative 10. So you go over 1, down 2. Over 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Over 1, down 2, and over 1, down 6. Connect the dots. Interesting. Our y-intercept is 0, right at the 0 mark. Well, guess there's no y-intercept. So that works out perfectly. And that's how you do this one. We'll label this one as g of x. Okay, so that's number 5. Now, we seem to end each class with a word problem because this chapter is kind of based on word problems. So look for words such as maximum, minimum, lowest, highest. Then looking for the vertex, I think I already mentioned that. Look for words such as initial, starting, etc. when looking for the y-intercept. So let's take a look at the question. The height of a football thrown by Aaron Rodgers can be modeled by the equation here. Okay, where the height is in meters and the time is in seconds. How high off the ground is the ball thrown from? So how high does he throw it from? Well, look at this here. It's the n numbers, the y-intercept. It's this number at the very end. It's 2 meters. So the ball is thrown from 2 meters. Now, another way is when time equals 0, so like knocks out that term because it's 0. It's the number at the end. So it's 0.2 meters. When will the ball reach its maximum height? We're going to have to do some work. We have to find the vertex. So we're going to take this and we're going to set it to 0 like all the other questions. And then we're going to factor it. Woo, this is a pretty hard factor. This one here is no longer. We're going to have to use the big formula for this one, which is tricky. I didn't expect that from this section. So we're going to have to use the big formula here. So we're going to have to use t equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Honestly, I just can't think of two numbers. I know we can use Mandra, but I can't think of the two numbers, so I'm going to have to end up using this formula, which is a bit unexpected because I expected a little bit different in this one, but I know I got this from someone else's question. I copied and pasted it. But let's take a look what happens. Let's just put it in. I'm curious. So b, negative 20 plus minus the square root of b squared, 20 squared minus 4 times negative 5 times c is 2 all over 2 times negative 5. Not much room for this one. So negative 20 plus minus, we're going to figure all this out in a calculator. So we're going to go 20 squared. It's only because I couldn't factor it like all the other ones. I have to use the formula. So 20 squared minus 4 bracket negative 5, close the bracket, times 2. So in there we get 440 all over negative 10. And then let's see what the square root of 440 is. So we're going to go second square root of 440. Using our big formula here. Oh, I knew I couldn't factor as a decimal. 20.976. So you get negative 20 plus minus 20.976. 20.976 all over negative 10. It's interesting. And let's get the two answers. Minus 20 plus 20.976 all over negative 10. And then you get negative 20 minus 20.976 all over negative 10. And I'll put that in the calculator. And I get 0.976 divided by negative 10. Negative 0.0976. And for the other one, 20 minus 20.976. Oops. Let's put that in the calculator. And here I get 4.0976. Now, those are my two x-intercepts. So this one's negative, that's positive. Interesting. Those are my x-intercepts. Now we have to average them. So we're gonna answer B and C together. Once you have it, we're gonna take the average of them. So x, it's t, sorry. We're gonna take the t, we're gonna take the average of them, negative 0.0976, and we're gonna add 4.0976 to it, and we're gonna divide it by 2. This is just the average, so we're just finding the average of the two. So that becomes 4 over 2. Interesting, it's 2. Okay, so 2. So 2, when will the ball reach its maximum height? After 2 seconds. So all this work, and I'm sorry I didn't leave enough room. So all this is to find out here that it took 2 seconds. Now I'm kind of surprised because we're going to do these types of questions. We're going to have a specific day when we actually do these types of questions. But I'll finish it just to show you. So whoever the teacher is there, if you want, they don't have to do this last question here. So you can pause it, but you can finish it. So we'll finish it. So at least they have a preview of later how to do these. So when will the ball reach the maximum height? Okay, after 2 seconds. And then what is the ball's maximum height? Well, you plug in the 2 into the equation and you can figure out what the maximum height is. And I'm out of room here. I'm going to write it on the back. So I'm going to use the HT equation here. Let's see, 22 plus 2. And then negative 5, 2 squared plus 20 times 2 plus 2. So we will do these questions just to preview what's coming with the word problems. So it's a good preview. So I'm going to put minus 5 bracket 2 squared plus 22. And to be honest, guys, I know there's a faster way to do it, 22 meters. So the maximum height, therefore, the maximum height is 22 meters. I got the last question from someone else's note. Thought it was going to be a little easier than that. I thought we'd be able to figure it out, but I was wrong. But I thought I'd do it anyway just to preview it. So this last question, is something you can pause it in between, but it's not mandatory to do the last question here on this worksheet. Okay, so now you guys can go and do all the homework. Oops.